Tired of Usher. I wish somebody would come out and just like sue him. Like, we need Usher sued. No, we do. We need a victim to come out and be honest about him.
Been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Then you take Justin Bieber from Lily White, Canada, and take him to the flavor of the Kitty edition. Get his ripped open.
Why would Diddy be tapping his kid in his chest to see if he wired? And asking him, are you wired? Why would he be confronting that kid? Why would Justin Bieber make a song about, what is it? I got smashed at a Diddy party or something like that? Why? There's reasons behind all this. So, where there's smoke, there's fire.
For years, he kept everything buried inside, the pain, the fear, and the truth. While millions watched him grow from a teenage sensation into a global superstar, very few knew what he was truly enduring behind the cameras, interviews, and headlines. Justin wasn't just struggling with fame, he was fighting something far deeper, something he was too afraid to speak about. Experiences involving powerful people, powerful names, and moments that continued to haunt him long after the spotlight dimmed. One of those names was Shawn Combs, known to the world as Diddy. While the public focused on the glamorous side of the industry, Justin was living through situations no young person should ever face. He stayed silent, fearing the consequences of telling the truth, pushing the memories down and hoping they would disappear, but they never did. Instead, they quietly shaped his life, his choices, and his silence. Now, everything has changed. Investigations into Diddy are exposing a darker side of the music industry that many ignored for years. Victims are speaking out, accountability is finally taking shape, and Justin has reached a point where he can no longer remain quiet. This is no longer about image or staying comfortable. It is about truth, justice, and healing. For the first time, Justin is ready to share what really happened, what he went through, what he witnessed, and how deeply it affected him, backed by real evidence, real messages, and real moments that connect his story to a much larger and more disturbing picture of power, partying, trauma, and silence.
Happy birthday, Justin! Happy birthday!
Welcome to the family, John.
What he reveals is difficult to hear, raw, painful, and deeply honest. This is not just another celebrity headline, it is a young man reclaiming his voice after years of silence, with Justin Bieber finally saying, "Enough is enough." Years ago, Diddy presented himself as a mentor, someone who could guide Justin through the chaos of the music industry. But now, with federal charges looming and disturbing allegations mounting, people are re-examining the past. Old clips once dismissed as harmless moments between a rising star and a powerful mogul are being viewed through a very different lens, especially one resurfaced video that has sparked intense online debate. In it, a 15-year-old Justin is shown receiving car keys from Diddy, who says the car would be waiting whenever Justin came to Los Angeles, and mentions that Justin was staying with him for 2 days. What once appeared innocent now raises serious concerns amid a high-profile investigation involving accusations such as trafficking and abuse. Social media is filled with questions about why a teenager, still finding his place in the industry, was spending time alone with a grown man now accused of serious crimes, and whether anyone truly protected Justin, or if he was simply another young artist surrounded by the wrong people at the wrong time. Diddy has pleaded not guilty and maintains his innocence, but widely reported footage of him violently attacking Cassie Ventura has intensified scrutiny, with prosecutors alleging she tried to escape one of his parties and was met with violence. That video has opened the floodgates to questions about what really happened at those events and who else may have been present. No one is claiming Justin was directly involved, but the connection and the time they spent together are real. The questions are valid, and the internet is refusing to let the past be ignored. Watching that old clip of a nervous, smiling 15-year-old Justin as Diddy jokes about having custody of him for the weekend feels different now. The context has changed. The world has changed, and people are no longer brushing things off as harmless when there may be far more beneath the surface.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down like you gotta, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15, you could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right,
No,
16.
No,
16.
Slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when when you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion?
Yeah.
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang out some girls.
Man after my heart. That's what I'm talking.
Justin may not have spoken directly about that specific video yet, but as more details continue to surface, people are listening more closely than ever, and he is done staying silent. To understand how Justin Bieber ended up moving in these powerful circles, it is important to look at the foundation that was built around him and the people who helped shape his path. Justin was a small-town kid from Canada with a remarkable voice and huge dreams, still in his early teens when he caught the attention of music executives and came under the guidance of Usher. On the surface, it seemed like a dream come true, a global R&B superstar mentoring a young talent in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. What many didn't realize at the time was that Usher's own rise to fame followed a similar path, one that led directly through Shawn Combs. Some have since suggested that the way Diddy showed interest in Bieber appeared unsettling until Usher stepped in, took on a protective role, managed him, and promised to look after him. Long before becoming a household name himself, Usher had also been a young boy searching for direction. At just 13 years old, he moved in with Diddy under the label of artist development, an experience presented as professional growth, but later described by Usher as something far different from a simple classroom or studio training environment.
Someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him.
He later described that time in a radio interview, and the way he spoke about it made it sound far less like music mentorship and far more like a chaotic introduction to an adult world. He avoided specific details, but the message was unmistakable. He witnessed things no child should ever have to see. He called it a learning experience, yet there was an uneasy undertone in his words, as if even years later he was still processing what had happened. At just 13, he was too young to fully understand what he was being exposed to, placed in an environment built for adults, and expected to treat it as part of the journey. That so-called training camp wasn't about music, chords, or lyrics. It was about exposure. Exposure to excess, to power, to blurred boundaries, and to a culture where rules seemed not to apply. And while Usher tried to laugh it off later in life, the reality is that his experience marked the beginning of a troubling pattern that would repeat itself again and again.
Looking at this lawsuit, right, Lil Rod, he alleges that, Diddy told him personally that he had sex with Usher. And when you look at the lawsuit, even though they got Usher's name redacted, you could tell who it is because they described him as the guy that performed at the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, we all know who that is, but how you feel about that, man?
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know.
Usher met Justin and helped shape his career much the same way his own had been shaped, stepping into the role of mentor, guide, and protector. But in doing so, he may have unknowingly repeated the same cycle. Justin, like Usher before him, was placed in close contact with Diddy during his early development, not just for brief meetings or studio sessions, but for full weekends, private one-on-one time, and extended stays that were publicly framed as normal parts of the music business. Now, with everything that has surfaced, people are questioning what truly happened behind the scenes and what kind of mentorship removes a teenager from his home and places him inside the private world of a powerful adult, surrounded by environments and behavior meant for grown men. Looking back, the discomfort is hard to ignore. The signs were there, but few paid attention. Years later, when Usher was asked whether he would ever allow his own children to stay with Shawn Combs the way he once did, his answer was immediate and firm. Absolutely not. A response that quietly revealed how his perspective had changed. And then there is Justin himself, still young, hopeful, and just starting out. At 15, he appeared in a video with Combs that is now circulating again, where Diddy jokes about spending 48 hours with Justin and another boy, laughing about how they can't reveal everything that happened, only that it was every teenage boy's dream, while Justin awkwardly plays along. What once seemed like harmless banter now feels unsettling, raising questions about why such jokes were made around a minor, why they were filmed, and why no one intervened. This would not be the last time the two were seen together, as several other clips later emerged, including one where Diddy publicly calls Justin out for not staying in touch, leaving Justin visibly uncomfortable as he explains that Diddy never even had his number, along with appearances at award shows, birthday celebrations, and one particularly tense moment where viewers believe Diddy appears to pat Justin down, a brief but unsettling interaction that continues to fuel concern and unanswered questions.
Someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him.
These moments, viewed one after another, are now being closely dissected online, with some people insisting they are being exaggerated, while others argue the pattern is impossible to ignore, especially when considered alongside what Justin himself revealed years later. In a 2020 interview, Justin broke down while talking about Billie Eilish, saying he wanted to protect her from the industry and from the kinds of experiences he had endured. He didn't name names or give details, but the depth of his emotion suggested pain shaped over many years, not a single incident. And that interview, once seen simply as heartfelt, is now being rewatched with new questions in mind. Adding to the confusion is the fact that just last year, before any legal trouble surfaced, Justin appeared on Diddy's album on a track called Moments, a collaboration praised at the time, before Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, before the disturbing footage, and before federal raids, with the lawsuit settling quickly but leaving lasting impact. Today, Justin is in a new phase of life as a first-time father, focused on his baby boy and his family rather than headlines, and a source close to him says he is aware of the allegations against Diddy, but does not want to be consumed by them, describing him as living in a happy bubble centered on fatherhood, his marriage to Haley, and protecting the peace they've built. An entirely understandable choice after growing up under relentless public pressure. Still, speculation continues to grow, fueled recently by a cryptic video from his father-in-law, Stephen Baldwin, who spoke vaguely about a calm before and after a storm without naming anyone, prompting intense online debate about whether it was a warning, a hint, or simply bad timing. Despite Justin's efforts to stay distant, his past connections are being re-examined, his silence interpreted in multiple ways, and even his family pulled into unwanted attention, placing him in a difficult position between deserving peace and facing increasingly serious questions about power, safety, and what truly happens behind closed doors in the entertainment industry. At the same time, attention is turning toward Usher, with many now wondering how much he really knew, as the mentor who guided Justin, but who himself had entered the industry as a child, carrying experiences that may have shaped his decisions long before Justin ever came into the picture.
Man, you good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so.
Right, okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
Usher was only 13 years old when he went to live with Shawn Combs, an arrangement presented as a valuable learning opportunity and a chance to observe the music industry up close under someone who had already built an empire. However, Usher later admitted in interviews that what he witnessed during that time was wild, stopping short of calling it abuse, but making it clear that the environment was far from safe for a child. He spoke of parties, adult situations, and behavior no teenager should ever be exposed to, admitting he did not fully understand what he was seeing at the time, though that does not change the reality that he was placed in those situations. If it was not outright exploitation, it came dangerously close. That history makes Usher's later role as Justin Bieber's mentor deeply uncomfortable, raising difficult questions about whether he recognized the same pattern repeating itself, and if so, why more was not done to stop it. Questions that figures like Jaguar Wright have been asking for years.